Now, let me start with the start with the pathology of the corneal ulcers. Now, each of the corneal ulcers, okay, goes under three stages. That is stage of, you can see now, see the picture. uh, uh, Stage of infiltration, stage of ulceration, uh, stage of regression, healing stage. Okay. So, in stage of infiltration, as you can see from the figure itself, uh, there is infiltration uh, of the lymphocytes and lymphocytes into the cornea. Okay. Uh, then comes the stage of ulceration, where the denudation of the epithelium along with there can be addition of denudation with either biomuscular or superior part of the stroma, okay, and sloughing out. This is called the stage of ulceration. Uh, Now, on this stage of ulceration, okay, that is uh, how much it is involved means if it is less than one third of the stroma involved and healing occurs in less than one third of the stroma, then that goes the term is used for those cases as more than one third of the stroma involved, that's goes for macula, okay, and full thickness goes for glaucoma. Okay, so this is the regressive stage. You can see this is the regressive stage of the next third one. The regressive stage of the corneal ulcer. What is the regressive stage? That means that is the infiltration is, you can see that around ulcer the infiltration has gone less, but the epithelium is still not recovered. And last stage is the healing stage. That is the infiltration is also gone and the denuded epithelium and the stroma has healed with lamination tissues by scarring, which we call as scarring. Is it clear? This is the scarring. Is it clear? Now, so these are the stages of pathology corneal ulcers. Next, now, what are the symptoms of the corneal ulcer? It's nothing. You know, sorry, it's not nothing. It's a lot of pain. Corneal is a very painful eye condition. Okay. Now, uh, uh, remember, you will always with that the corneal ulceration. There will always be pain. Uh, there will be lacrimation, congestion, typical circumcorneal congestion, and watering of the eye along with simple blepharospasm, okay, with the dimness of vision. Now, next we come to the complications of the corneal ulcer. In as you have seen, what I have already mentioned, the stages of the corneal ulcer. See the previous slides that I have already shown you the pathology first stages of the corneal ulcer. So what happens with each of them? Now, for, if that corneal ulceration denudation goes up to the desperate membrane, then one after another, all the complications arise. So come to the complications of the corneal ulcer. Is it clear? Now, these complications of the corneal ulcer can be divided into non-perforated and perforated corneal ulcer. Is it clear? Now, non-perforated means it has gone up till the descent. The denudation of the epithelial and stroma has gone up to the descent layer, and the descent for leading to formation of the descemetal seal. Okay, so uh, that is the stage. That is the stage called impending perforation, not impending perforated corneal ulcer. This is the study impending perforation. That is, it is yet not perforated, but it may perforate at any time. Okay. how to manage in that case? Maybe I have to go through the management along with this clinical complications. Okay. Otherwise, it will be too late for you to understand. So, what are the complication? Uh, what is the management at this stage? You blame either the BCL or the tarsal, because you need to prevent friction for the friction, and you need epithelialization and granulation tissue to form above the cementocyte. Okay, and the other hormone, and you need to go on with the hormone management, other hormone management of hormone. I will come to that. Hormone management I will come later. Now, what is the complication of perforated cornea? Now, when this desmetocele perforates, okay, desmetocele perforates or desmetocele perforates, the perforation may be either small or there may be large perforation. In case of small perforation, what happens? Since already it has involved the endothelium, the iris is involved, iritis occurs and exudates comes, exudates begins to form, it begins to form in front of the this microperforation, and what you form is called what ultimately pseudo layer is formed, okay, and that ultimately leads to what is called the adherent lymph node. So small perforation typically leads to adherent lymph node, okay, and large perforations, that is when the whole of the cornea as if has got melted out and perforated, just leaving a thin ring of the limbal perilimbal tissue and limbal tissue around. That gives rise, and anteriorly the exudates and all the granulation tissues forms a pseudo pseudo covering structure, which is known as a pseudocornea. That stage uh, goes to ultimate formation of anterior staphylococcus. Okay. This question is also frequently asked by the teachers. So what do you know about the difference between adherent lymphoma and anterior staphylococcus? How will you differentiate between the two? So I think you are now clear. Both are due to complications of perforated cornea. The adherent lymphoma typically occurs in case of small perforations, and the anticephaloma occurs due to presence of large perforations. Okay, positive formation of pseudocornea. Now, so in the management of corneal ulcer, always let me remind you, so what is the management in these two cases? If already pseudocornea has formed, okay, you only need to give just supportive treatment, that is either BCL or tarsorrhaphy, okay, and if pseudocornea is not found where the antechamber leakage is found, then you have to put either tectonic keratoplasty or therapeutic keratoplasty. I will go to that section later, and you will have details in your eye banking classes also later. Now, so management of the corneal ulcers. What will be the management of the corneal ulcers? So bring in, always remember 3A. What is the 3A? So whatever first A is the, always first A is the atropine. Okay. Second A is the antibiotic. Third A is the analgesic. So 3A. Is it clear? Atropine, antibiotic, analgesic. So okay, that's finished. Okay. These three are the main management protocol of corneal ulcers. So along with that, you may for other along with that some more drugs may be required that I will mention, like systemic drugs may be required in which patients. For example, in those patients whom the corneal ulcer is seen to involve more than one third to two third of the stroma of the cornea or hypopyon is formed. In those cases, the you need to add systemic drugs also. Okay? Broad spectrum antibiotics like ciprofloxacin, okay, amoxicillin. This can be all given. Symptoms and this can be all given. Okay, and in cases of bacterial ulcers and fungus, you need to give the fluconazoles and all. Okay, next. Next. Okay. Uh, Let me tell one thing. Next, I'm coming to the uh, ulcers that are associated with hypopyon. Corneal ulcers that are associated with hypopyon. Now, corneal ulcers that are associated with hypopyon, uh, okay, uh, are caused both by bacteria as well as fungi. Okay. So, which bacteria typically causes hypopyon? Those are you can see the streptococci, staphylococcus, and pseudomonas, and uh, uh, and and the fungus causes hypopyon corneal ulcers. Okay. Now, so in those cases, I've already told nothing to tell you much. What you need to know how to differentiate between fungal corneal ulcers and bacterial corneal ulcers with hypopyon. Always, this fungal corneal ulcers will have a history of first of all history of vegetative matters injury. Okay, and always the fungal corneal ulcer there will be more signs than symptoms. Okay, uh, but bacterial corneal ulcer will have severe symptoms than signs. Okay. So that is the second point. Third point is that uh, the fungal ulcers will be typically dry-looking ulcers than that of the bacterial ulcer. Okay. Fourth is that typical things like uh, uh, typical satellite lesion, filamentous satellite lesions and filamentous lesions goes for fungal corneal ulcers. Okay, and these are the things. So now, what to do and the treatment of the hypopyon corneal ulcer? Obviously, if there is hypopyon, you need to give anti-glaucoma agent also because these are nothing but what? It is a reactions, inflammatory reactions due to iritis, due to causing of iritis of the anterior chamber, antichamberitis. Okay. So this exudative cells goes and blocks radicular mesh works and causes increase in IRT, causing much more pain. So you need to give anti-glaucoma to hypertension. This is the more addition. Another addition is that obviously we need to give one systemic antibiotic. Okay, if, in respective cases as and when what you find whether fungal or bacterial. Fortified eye drops are given when primary eye drops when you see is very severe. Many times we start direct fortified, or many times we give as a protocol wise. If we see that others are resistant, then we give fortified drops later drops. Okay, as and when it is necessary. Now there are some there are some uh, okay. Now, so you need to know there are some aggressive forms of the hypopyon corneal ulcer found in bacterial cases, found in pneumococci, okay, pseudomonas, all these cases. Okay, you have to try and manage it accordingly. Now, what are the antifungal drugs we use? That is nothing but natamycin, fluconazole, amphotericin, fluconazole. What are the antibiotics we use in bacteria? That is broad spectrum, ciprofloxacin, moxifloxacin, latifloxacin, and all. Tobramycin, tobramycin drugs, we use them. Okay. There are some other atypical organisms also causing this fungal ulcers. Okay, antifungal and all. But what is the importance of viral fungal ulcers? Okay, so we will now come to that interest. This viral corneal ulcers have typical forms. Okay, viral corneal ulcers that typically causes these ulcers as mainly this herpes simplex and herpes zoster. Okay, so they have these typical forms. What are the typical forms? The typical forms are dendritic. Okay, you can see. In one page you don't have the. In this page you are seeing the dendritic pattern. Okay, and they have typical patterns. By that patterns we can identify that these are viral or others. Okay, so virals are typical dendritic pattern. That is the fluorescent dye. The picture that is stained with fluorescent. That is the dendritic, typical dendritic. Then this dendritic pattern uh, goes and increases to geographic pattern. Okay, that is the blue colored picture we are seeing. These two. Okay, there are some other forms also. Superficial punctate keratopathy, punctate keratitis, is commonly known as SPK. Those are also viral forms. Nummular keratitis, nummular nummular keratitis. Those are also one form of viral keratitis, and disciform keratitis. Okay. Now, what you need to know basically this dendritic, geographic, and this and superficial punctate keratitis. These are there is an involvement of epithelium. Okay, but the nummular and the disciform, basically these are most commonly not involved with epithelium. But then also we have to do fluorescent staining and see whether there is involvement of any epithelium in those cases also or not. So, why do we need to know? Because if epithelium is involved, we do not give steroid at the first instance. Okay, because epithelium involvement, it will there will be hamper of the healing if we give steroid. Okay? And another fact is that topical acyclovir ointment works best if there is involvement of epithelium. So these two things you need to do. And another topical steroids drop we will give only when epithelium is not involved. So it's very clear whom to give steroids and whom not to give steroids. Is it clear? So commonly we give steroids to nummular and disciform keratitis if there is not involvement of epithelium, and other forms we don't do. And what is the general treatment of the viral hepatitis? So again 3A, atropine, antibiotic means acyclovir ointment. Along that you may or may not give antibiotics, antibiotic drop, antibacterial antibiotic drop to prevent secondary bacterial infection. Yes, analgesic. Okay. Steroids, as I have already told, whom to give and whom not to give. Okay. In cases of herpes zoster, okay, in addition to the herpes zoster, there is in addition to the there may be there is presence of shingles along the trigeminal distribution of dermatomes. Okay, so that is unilateral presentation and there is skin involvement, and there is shingles present along the trigeminal uh, distribution of the dermatome. You can easily differentiate between them. And along with that, there will be involvement of cornea or antifungal. So in that cases, you need to give systemic acyclovir. How much? 800 milligram 5 times a day. Okay, for 7 days to 10 days, and then as it resolves, um, 3 times for more 5 days. Like that, you will find everything is there in your book, so you have not to worry. Just you need to know the basics. Another thing, this viral keratitis, there can be association of anti-chamber also. That is, there can be endothelial KPs or endothelitis or AC cells also. So in that cases, you have to give steroids. Yeah, very cautious because epithelium involvement again. So first you require to heal the epithelium and then give topical steroids. Otherwise, systemic steroids you have to discuss. Okay. So other things are okay.